Hello, my name is Greg, and I'm here today with my friend Andy. I'm the sound man, production man, cameraman, wingman for My Zen Brain, and my friend Andy here's here to talk about that. And so maybe Andy, you can tell us what My Zen Brain is and what you want to tell us about.
My Zen Brain podcast is the podcast that I'm designing where I will share my experience and strength and hope with 8 years of sobriety and 15 years with traumatic brain injury. And so My Zen Brain, the podcast, is going to talk about those things, and this GoFundMe campaign is to raise the money that I need to buy the equipment that I need to get My Zen Brain, the podcast, off the ground. So it's for microphones and sound mixing software and sound mixing equipment and like that. And also, I have decided to make the promise to the people who, after a year of My Zen Brain, the podcast, any money left over will be spent on promotional merchandise to be given out freely to the supporters of this GoFundMe campaign. The reason I decided to do this is because I was a professional writer for 4 years, and I've been writing off and on since I was 13 years old. And I tried to write a memoir of my experience since my traumatic brain injury and sobriety 8 years ago, and it didn't work, and it kind of died on the vine. And so I got the idea for the My Zen Brain podcast when I looked at the work that I had done on the My Zen Brain blog, and I was pretty happy with it, and I think it exemplified the fact that I think that I may be a better writer than I've ever been, and with the motivation of sharing the stories of other people with traumatic brain injuries and other people in sobriety, I hope to maybe normalize those two topics. And so the My Zen Brain podcast, the title comes from my meditation practice, which has been my go-to for the last 7 years, and it's largely been the reason why I've maintained sobriety over these last 8 years. So My Zen Brain, the podcast, is a variation on My Zen Brain, the blog, and this GoFundMe campaign will hopefully gain me the funding that I need to move forward with it. So I hope you can help, and I appreciate the support.